To start with, we'll do as we've been doing, finding our posture, taking a moment just to settle in. We'll do an invocation, and we'll do refuge and bodhicitta together, and 2 sessions of watching our breath. As you remember, in this way that we're doing it, we place the attention on the breath, and then let your attention rest on the breath, moving in and out with the breath, keeping our eyes a little bit open, but not really focused on anything. That's as a kind of harbinger of the possibility of maintaining attention with all our senses open, just as they are in life. And open to the possibility of developing, increasing steadiness, but not at the same time trying to suppress the mind's wandering, because it will wander. And then, as we always say, whenever you come out of that distraction and notice that your mind has gone somewhere else, just bring it back. Do it over and over and over again. So we'll do that. And then I'll do a short guided meditation that is a kind of introduction to the TAR practice, and then we'll come out of that and talk a bit and give some explanation and look at the TAR text that we have. Talk about that a little bit. So we begin with Dechen Barwa, Great Blazing Bliss. Om Ahom Hri, great bliss, blazing power, palace where wisdom ones know bliss and emptiness, blissful lotus ones with no wanting, Vajra sun great glory shines from there, true form Amitabha Dorje Lokesh Lord compassion passionate, lotus Lord master of world and peace, power Heruka shines all things, Samvayeshe Vajra Varahi, Jodi's our king, great bliss treasure, mind muse Rikshema rules all mudras, high-low dancing in bliss emptiness, power wielding dak and daki hos, you know seen and empty as the same, you dance your vajra form, shakes 3 worlds, your laugh and ceaseless speech rouse 3 realms, red light rays suffuse all worlds in peace, stir and gather world peace essences, grant the 2 feet our supreme desire, Vajra passion of your own heart mind, with great Vajra hooks and lassos you bind to great bliss all you know and see, dance play in the endless magic net like sesame pods burst open with 3 roots power, God host vast array, bless and grant as with respect I pray, for unhindered city power in all feats high and low that I desire. Take a moment to find your alignment, your sense of being in alignment with and supported from the center of the earth, directly beneath you. And also at the level of your crown to be open to space, spacious and at ease. And just allow yourself to settle. Kyabda Gyawanam Tangyer Mebe Gandrin Sumden Chinchen Lama Che Ridzin Churme Tupten Chatsulta Solwadep Sunyam Lentar Chin Shu. And take a moment to touch into your own very genuine, very human yearning for refuge, for protection, for safety, for a real haven, shelter from life's storms. However you think about that, just touch into that longing that we all have. And present with equal longing in their hearts are your father and your male relatives seated on your right, your mother, your female relatives seated on your left, cousins, uncles, nieces, aunts, grandmother, grandfather, children, brothers, sisters, all these family members. And in front of you, beings who present some difficulty to you. Behind you and all around you, all of the living beings of this entire world. Humans, four-legged, animals of the seas, animals of the skies. All of them present in their own hearts to their own longing for refuge, safety. And in response to that longing appears in space before you the luminous Lama, whom we call the precious teacher, Guru Rinpoche, embodiment of all wisdom, all compassion, actually of all the qualities that we ourselves aspire to develop. And gazing at you, his wide open eyes, with love, complete attention. And you look with longing at this being who arises as a protector. You begin to have a relationship with that possibility of real refuge. So we sing. In three real jewels, three root bliss-filled ones, channels, winds, bright orbs, this Bodhi mind. It's on page 12. Moving love mandal, until full Bodhi I seek refuge. And the second time we'll sing it in Tibetan using the phonetics there. Kunchok sum ngete shek zawa sum zalung tigle rang shing chan chup sem ngor rang shing tu che ging gor la chan chup ning ver vardu jab su chi. In three real jewels, three root bliss-filled ones, channels, winds, bright orbs, this Bodhi mind, essence, nature, moving love mandal, until full Bodhi I seek refuge. And in response to your calling, rays of light stream down from the luminous Lama, touching you, touching all these present with you, and all of us dissolve into light and are drawn up as light, melting into the luminous Lama, light to light, heart to heart, mind to mind, until you have completely unified this luminous, wise, kind being, sitting, glowing in space. And as such, you begin to dissolve toward your own heart as the luminous Lama. Light melting and dissolving in toward your heart. Until you are simply a drop of light in the vastness of space that then dissolves completely into space. And you touch into that as is possible for you. And then when it fades, you don't stress to try to stretch out that moment. You just arise again as before. Express your intention. Having experienced this dissolution into this vast, luminous clarity, now you aspire to fully realize this as your own nature. And you aspire with love, compassion, a sense of joy, equanimity. You want to find this place in your own space so that you'll be able to lead other beings there to that real refuge. Oh, like moons in water, sights deceive us. We ever roam bound in cyclic chains. So all may rest in their clear mind sphere. I raise Bodhi through four boundless days. Oh, natso nangwa chude tsun reiji, korwa lugu jundu chambe dro, rang riga sel ying sung el suchir, teme shi ying hang ne sim che do. Oh, like moons in water, sights deceive us. We ever roam bound in cyclic chains. So all may rest in their clear mind sphere. I raise Bodhi through four boundless days. And now the luminous Lama melts into light, and this light streams into you and dissolves completely into your own heart, mind, into your own being. And you sit with that for as long as seems meaningful to you. And then, as before, place your attention on your breath. Let your attention rest on your breath and gently ride with it, moving in and moving out, especially savoring the sense of relaxation as you exhale. And also the sense of refreshment and vitality as you inhale. We'll do 2 short sessions of this with the bell in between. Remember, your eyes are just a little bit open. If you feel it's really important for you right now that they be closed, you can do that on a temporary basis, but this practice really is for the eyes to be a little bit open. You're not sealing off the world, but you're cradling your attention on your breath, not distracted by the world. And hold your space. You can relax with your body a bit. We're holding the space a little longer. And as a way of connecting with Tara, bring to mind some moment when you really felt what tender responsiveness, loving connection felt like. Maybe with a family member, a child, an animal, someplace there's no tension. It's all about this sweet kind of gracious feeling of just a sweet kind of love that's gentle as a breeze, just wafting over your skin. Maybe there's a particular moment you can remember when you felt this way, and when you felt somebody feeling this way toward you. Just take a moment to feel into what that feels like. Something like a soft and gentle rain, mist, a green mist descending, entering your energy field. There's no need for usual defensiveness, feeling very safe, feeling loved. Feeling love, a very sweet way. Maybe like a gentle green mist descending through your crown and percolating through your body and just kind of softening up the defensive hard edges that we tend to carry around as we walk in the world. Tender like mist, responsive like the wind. Fresh. The way you feel when somebody offers you an unexpected kindness. You know, something just melts a little and suddenly the world seems like a very friendly place. For that moment, at least. And if this kind of tender responsiveness were to take form, in the logos of this tradition, it takes form as green Tara, who's here behind me. I feel that she's in front of you. Luminous, green, beautiful. And her whole aura is an aura of tenderness, kindness, swift responsiveness. She will hear anything that you have to say, and she will respond. And she will respond with a tenderness that will melt your heart. She will respond with a love that will dissolve your defenses. So just consider for a moment the possibility of having a relationship with someone like this. Look into her eyes, she looks into your eyes. It's a little bit of a challenge in a way. Such a giving, wise, kind presence. Just the being you want to ask for protection from. And in fact, she is committed to dispelling all fear. That's one of her special qualities. So anything that you may feel as fear, you can bring to this practice and let her address it. She is neither exactly you nor exactly not you, but she is Tara. And how lovely it would be not only to connect with Tara, this luminous expression of tender love and fearlessness at the same time. Would it not be wonderful to be this being, Green Tara? To really take on that capacity, that identity as a possibility for yourself. And in this moment, everything vanishes. She vanishes, you vanish, the whole world vanishes. There's just that empty space we always encounter in these practices. And out of this empty space arises a green syllable, tam. Just think of a green tea made of light for now with an orb of light above it. The point is, it's a very small letter, and instantly out of this arises Tara. You are Tara. Your body is luminous green. Have a gentle smile on your face. You're holding an incredibly beautiful and rare flower that expresses the freshness and preciousness and rarity of the qualities that you now display. Position of your hands and legs all have meaning. Above all, expressing the possibility of yourself growing to such wisdom and compassion that you bestow protection from fear on others. How wonderful, Tara. And at your heart is the same syllable, tam, a green letter, a T for now, if you like, made of light. And we're going to sing the sound. Tara has form, she also has sound. Her sound is, her root sound is Om Taritam Soha. Om Taritam Soha. Om, you can say it. Say Om. Om Taritam Soha. Om Taritam Soha. Om Taritam Soha. And we're going to sing it a bit, and as we sing, feel that green light is expanding from your heart. And just as we've done with Vajrasattva, light is going out and inviting all of the Taras of the whole universe, which is actually filled with Taras, to dissolve into these beams of light and ride them back to your heart, so you become even more filled with the presence of Tara. And we sing the mantra like this. Om Taritam Soha, 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 Om Taridam 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 Soha. And now this whole universe of taras has dissolved into you. You are even more completely and intimately present as Tara. That tender kindness, that power to protect from fear. And now from your heart expand light of 5 colors, going out to all the beings in the universe, just as we did with Vajrasattva, giving them whatever it is they need to feel safe. Houses for the homeless, food for the hungry, medicine for the ill, warmth for those suffering from cold, heat, protecting them from cold, coolness, protecting beings who need it from heat. And this is the activity mantra of Tara, and it's Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. 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 And we sing this as well. The light is expanding from your heart, red, green, blue, white, and yellow. And it's going, and you can be, as we did yesterday, you can be quite specific. On the one hand, it's going to every being in the universe. On the other hand, it's going to some little fish in the ocean and protecting it from some bigger fish, or some deer running in the Serengeti and protecting it from some lion, or however, whatever comes to your mind. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, 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 Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. We're going to continue singing, and when you feel you've given all the beings everything that they want in a worldly sense, now your light goes out to them and actually bestows complete enlightenment, just as you have upon them. They become taras of wisdom and compassion, taras in all 5 colors, until by the end of your sounding Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, the whole universe is filled with green taras, with you at the center. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, 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 Om Tutare Ture Soha, Om Tare 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 Tutare Ture Soha. Tare Tutare Ture Soha, Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. And you can just kind of whisper it to yourself. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, Om Tare Tutare. The light is still going out, transforming the universe. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. And allow this universe of taras to gently melt into you. And then just sit with that for a bit. Not trying to do anything. Just being with whatever is with you right now. Perhaps for a moment, feeling how nice it would be to really connect with this kind of energy, this kind of being, to be this kind of being. There are many, many stories about Tara. We practice Tara, in fact, to become her. That's the principle of Tantra. This is a tantric practice of Tantra from the Usul Dorje Sangze, a revealed treasure tear of Adzom Trukpa, who's in that tanka there with the kind of hair on his head, piled high in his head, Adzom Trukpa. And this came out of his own experience, a very direct experience of Tara. And so we do this practice, and tantric practices in general, to really meet with, become this kind of being. Now, in terms of, so Tara was, way, way, way back when, there was a princess named Jnana Chandra. It sounds so beautiful in Sanskrit. It means wisdom moon, Jnana Chandra. And she had a great intention to become enlightened so that she could benefit beings. And the Buddha at that time predicted that she would, in fact, become enlightened at some future time, and suggested that she change genders, that she become a male, and she made a vow that she would display enlightenment in female form. And she is one of the most beloved figures among the female enlightened Buddhas of Tibet. She was present at the Buddha's enlightenment. It is said that she laughed 8 times just before the Buddha went into a very deep and stable, it's called an unmoving myoe, samadhi. So she has some kind of connection with stability, also with some kind of joyousness. She was born, she's also very connected with Avalokiteshvara, who some of you, we pointed out last time, is here, that seated figure here on the altar is Avalokiteshvara, in Tibetan Chenrezig, and the figure on to our left, Guru Rinpoche's right, in the large frame above the table there, is also Avalokiteshvara. And Avalokiteshvara was present, and through rays of light, one of method, meaning compassion, one of wisdom, through streams of light of wisdom and compassion, Tara arose in the heart of Avalokiteshvara. Another tale which evokes the kind of presence that she is, the kind of qualities. We always understand these qualities as nascent in us, as we've been saying all along. So it's not like she's really something other than ourselves. But also she's not our ordinary self either. And she also has her own story. So Avalokiteshvara, whose name actually means looking down on the world inevitably with great sorrow, weeping, seeing all the suffering that remained after he had been working for eons, and to remove the suffering of the world, he looks and he sees there's so much left. 2 tears, one becomes white Tara, one becomes green Tara, and they say, don't worry, we'll help you. So they are, even towards an enlightened being like Avalokiteshvara, they are expressing their compassion. There are 21 Taras. Green Tara encompasses all of them. Green is associated with the element of wind, so that freshness, that capacity of the wind to cleanse and just move about very freely. That's Tara. She's a Dakini, so she's moving through space, and she flows and she glows, and she just has this wonderful, tender heart of compassion. So that the practice is to connect with her, with that aspect of ourselves. And so what she looks like is here. And you can look at her all you like. Also here, this is actually from Azamgar, blown up, very traditional, also traditional figure of Tara, so you can always look at her. That's what she looks like. That's what she feels like. And we begin where it says Namo, we take refuge in her. You're already familiar with what refuge feels like. We're going to sing this. And we vow to protect everyone. So right here in these 4 lines, we have both taking of refuge and our commitment, which is her commitment to benefit all living beings. So already, right from the very beginning, an opportunity to kind of taste that compassionate quality. And then on the top of page 2, it says, deity hosts dissolve in me. So Tara dissolves into you, just like we did. We've actually already done all of the main pieces of the practice. So you already know it. Tara dissolves into you, everything becomes empty. You say, Tsa Hom Bum Ho, everything is empty. That spaciousness that you're already a little familiar with because of our doing refuge, right? We dissolve into space. We're always dissolving into space and coming out of space, and that has great meaning. And then the syllable tum that I mentioned earlier arises out of space, and it looks like this is the Tibetan letter tum here, where it says tum. The letter next to it is a tum. And we also have a nice drawing, hand-drawn calligraphy on the Tsultrim, the tum, on a lotus. And then we sing about what we've just done, that everything's pure. I'll say more about this tomorrow. And this grand mansion, which is all made of light, arises, and we arise as Tara, and then this describes our body is green, we have one face, because sometimes deities have more than one face, we have 2 hands. It describes what we look like, and describes a little bit the symbolism of our posture, which I'll say more about tomorrow. And then we, in a formal way, we make offering to Tara, Atipuho, Prajisaho, we make a bow. And then, and this is characteristic of all these kinds of practices, we offer her, it's like we are a good host. We offer water. Water to drink, water to wash. In the old days, in Galilee and also in India, you know, when somebody would come into your home, their feet would be all dusty from the road. Everybody was wearing sandals or going barefoot. So you would offer them water to drink, and you would offer water to wash their feet, and flowers and incense. And we sing this offering, and there are hand gestures that we also do once you feel ready to learn them. And then we praise her with this song. We say freeing suffering, all Buddhas yum. That means she's the mother of all Buddhas. Why? Because she is an expression of wisdom. In order to be enlightened, one must experience wisdom. Her color is green-blue. Her longu, her resplendent dimension, that's one kind of expression of the enlightened state, dispels doer kind of demon, some kind of negative critter, gake, obstructions, and foes. We offer praise. And now we remember that on your own heart is this green tum. The mantra, Om Taritam So, Om Taritam So, is circling around your heart. And with the dakini, it circles counterclockwise. So it's like the letters are facing inside and they're turning like this around your heart as we sing the mantra, as we already did. Then and the light goes out, invites all the taras to come and dissolve into you, bringing back blessings. And then with the second mantra, it goes out and offers light and blessings and solace and protection to all the beings of the world. And then what we haven't done yet, once we say a mantra, and this is true of all tantric practice, we purify our speech by this, by reciting the consonants and vowels and consonants of the Sanskrit alphabet, and reciting a mantra. We recite the 100-syllable mantra, which you know already from yesterday. That's the same Vajrasattva 100-syllable mantra. And then we recite also this mantra, Yedamahi Trabawaitum Tikam Tagato Hiyawadetikam Shiono Evam Varimasham and Aisoha, which is like the distilled teaching of the entirety of the Buddhist path. It is saying that the Buddha taught that which arises from causes, and when those causes cease, that can cease. That's the pith of the Four Noble Truths. So we recite that. And then we make this offering again, sing our praise again, and that's really the end of the practice. Then we skip from, in the green text version, page 7 to page actually page 12, although we're going to skip that tonight too, and go to the dedication on 13. So that's it. That's the practice. What you see on page 7 is called, it says feast offering, and we're going to do that on Sunday to close the whole retreat, and people are invited to bring food to share, vegetarian food to share, and it's a formal way of offering Tara and ourselves, and the Tara in us, nectar and ambrosic sustenance. So those of you who have been coming during this period, you're getting a lot. I know it's a lot. If you come to the retreat, the Tara retreat, that's all we're going to do. We'll actually start with Refuge and Bodhicitta and Vajrasattva, which you're already familiar with. And then we'll do the Tara practice. That means we'll spend a lot of time singing the mantra. And so you get a lot of time to kind of settle into it and become familiar with it, and the feel of light flowing from your heart and blessings coming into your heart. It will be very familiar to you by the end of the weekend, because we'll go over this. We'll do 4 sessions of this on Saturday. We'll do a session of it tomorrow night, and we'll actually sing it through tonight, because it actually doesn't take long at all to sing it through, and you will become familiar with it. In the back here you have a picture, bless you. This Tara is a statue in what's known as the Atisha Temple, just outside not so far from the airport in Losar. And it's one of the few places you can see really old statues in Tibet. She and other Taras of this temple were buried during the Cultural Revolution by the monks from the monastery behind, and it's filled with precious and sacred things, probably, don't know for sure, goes back to the 11th century, because Atisha came to Tibet in the 11th century, and he is said to have come to this temple. So she's very wonderful. And so we have her picture here. And Jetsun Kache Wangmo, who is the sister of our teacher Adzom Rinpoche, who gave us this practice. Adzom Rinpoche, you may remember, was actually the son of Adzom Trukpa in his previous life. He was, and she was his daughter. They were brother and sister in their previous lives. They're brother and sister now. When their mother was pregnant, she's about 5 years younger than him, and he said that when their mother was pregnant with her, so he's about 5 years old, and they have 5 brothers and sisters, so she wasn't like the only sibling, he came over and patted his mother's tummy and said, "That's my Ani," meaning that's the nun, she's going to be a nun, and she is, so he knew she was coming. And she is considered an emanation of Tara. So we feel very close to her and also to him, and very connected to the lineage of Tara in that way, which is really a, kind of a palpable, you can say, energy, sensibility that we come gradually to be more and more familiar with. I guess like becoming familiar with the song, as you kind of embody a song or a character, the more you sing it, or the more you read a poem, the more you come to know it. Maybe it works that way with math too. I'm not a math person, but anything that you kind of really, or a language, or a certain kind of movement if you're a dancer, the more you familiarize with it, the more it really becomes part of you, and the more you actually experience what its potential is to be a part of you. So that's very much the principle of this practice. Any questions? It's okay to just kind of do it by rote until you start to understand it. But the most important thing, and the reason I started with this moment to evoke some memory of some feeling of tenderness, kindness, maybe when you're really little and your mom cuddled you on her lap, that kind of feeling. Or you found a little bird and you just picked it up so carefully, put it under your shirt to take care of it, that kind of feeling, that really sweet kind of tender feeling. We're not talking about, major romantic trauma. We're talking about that really sweet, sweet kind of feeling. That's what she is. That's what she embodies. That's what we're seeking to get connected with. So we're teaching this now because you have all arrived, Dakinis and Dakas as you are, at this moment when, for the second time, we're doing a formal practice called a drupcha of green Tara. We did it last year for the first time, and we were so amazed, actually, at how powerful it was for us that there was a pretty strong feeling to do it again. So that's why I'm teaching it now. Otherwise, we would wait a good while. We would wait till you had a daily practice that you were comfortable with, till you were familiar with, as you are getting familiar with, the refuge in bodhicitta, vajrasattva. These are what we call foundational practices. And we don't even really, in terms of the phases of our program, in terms of your development on the spiritual path, as I keep saying, the first thing is for you to develop a daily practice using the attention developing practice that we're doing, incorporating refuge and bodhicitta, if you like. That would be if you do it in a Buddhist context, as such, you would definitely, every session you begin with refuge and bodhicitta. If you just want to practice mindfulness as a skill, you can do that. But that's why we teach the refuge and bodhicitta. And the remaining foundational practices are also in here, and you can wait for that. And if you had come, a year ago and you were familiar with all that, then it might be about the right time to be teaching Tara. But also, it's fine. People like her. She's encouraged. She inspires people in many ways if you feel a connection with her. So, any questions? So if it feels like a lot, please be patient with that. It will be very familiar to you if you come to the retreat. Any questions or comments? It's a little worrisome. Nobody's got anything to say, and I feel I've stunned you in some way. Okay, Sarah, thank you. Do we have the microphone?
I mean, I can talk really loud.
Yeah, it helps for the record. Sorry? They can't hear it there, yeah. We're being bodhisattvas for the future people who might watch this and the people who are watching it now.
This is probably a personal question or comment, probably slightly revealing, but anyways, when you said not the kind of tenderness that's related to romantic, is that strict?
What do you mean, is that strict?
Like, is that like a hard line?
No, not at all. I just meant that it should be something that feels it could be related to, a sweet romantic moment. I just meant don't get into relationship stuff around this. If, romantic relationships aren't always sweet.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm glad you asked that, actually. All I meant by that was, not to go to a place where you're kind of like this.
Like pain.
Yeah, this is the tender part of love. So if that's evoked for you by a romantic relationship that you have, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, that's cool. But I just wanted to tread lightly on that because that's often a vexed area for people. Not necessarily. Anything else? Have you tried just doing some of these practices at home? The attending practice? Yeah? You what? You have a question about that?
About the really interesting result.
Okay, hang on. For your interesting result.
Yeah, so last week, and this might be a little private too, last week I took part in biofeedback. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, because of dealing with stress. And the first time I did biofeedback, the results were that I was exhibiting like a lot of stress, but very low mental activity, very like exhaustion and things like that. And since, when did this all start? Tuesday or Wednesday of last week?
Yeah, Losar was Wednesday and we started Thursday.
I've been doing the foundational practices as they've been introduced on my own, and as soon as I wake up in the morning, every day, and then coming and doing them in the evening with everyone. And I went today to do a follow-up with the biofeedback, and my stress levels are down a lot in the high reaches of my brain. Like there's like a lot of activity going on up there. So it was this has really been, I guess, and just feeling every day, I just feel a lot calmer, even more compassionate, like more engaging with people. So this has been a real big help.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for mentioning that. You're quite right. There are a lot of studies, actually, that measure the way in which, particularly they've paid attention to mindfulness practices, although I think these other practices are also very powerful, and the way in which they work in the brain to dissolve stress and actually enhance your immune system. There's a whole library of books about this. If you're John Kabat-Zinn, Full Catastrophe Living is a classic. It's actually 20 years old now. And Danny Goldman, Social Intelligence, Emotional Intelligence, these are books that... And also Mathieu Ricard, the book Happiness that I've recommended, he talks about some of this work also. But 5 days is pretty quick. That's nice. Thanks for letting us know. Anything else? Any feelings about the Tara? The little introduction to Tara that we did? Does it feel like it'll settle in? I'm confident it will. I just want to know what you think. Yeah. Okay. I think we need, even though we're about to leave, a little air on. It seems kind of hot, no? Hot, but a little air conditioning. Yeah. Anyway. Are you guys warm? A little bit. Yes. Sorry, I didn't think of it till now. Okay. Yes.
The feelings that you describe of an almost intimate but soft type of love, that's something that we've all felt, and certainly I've felt many times before, but I did not have a name for it until more recently, since you're calling it Tara now. I know, well, when that happened, that's what it was. And so so many feelings and things that pass through our minds and pass through our lives we can't describe or remember because we don't have a name for it. And if we can learn to recognize it, it's more likely to, we'll be aware of it when it happens again and take advantage of it rather than leave it forever lost. So that was the only thing that I felt that I thought is important, that you're the reason for why you're doing this.
Very true. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. We really do understand for example, Tara to be just what you said, the expression of a quality that actually we can learn to recognize in ourselves, as you were describing. And as you were describing, it's very important to recognize that, because that is very central to what we really are. You know, that's getting deeper into our nature than mostly we're on the surface of what we are. Mostly we're like moons and water, you know, it's sort of a lot of artificiality that we pretend is real or we feel is real because we don't know what else to feel, but then sometimes we drop into something so much deeper and so much resonant with a kind of, spaciousness, no longer reified in this tight way of holding on to self the way we do. So what we're really learning in this practice is to open up to that possibility in ourselves. Very, very, what you said is very true and very significant. And it's really important not to lose sight of that. You know, the ritual might seem complicated. On the weekend we'll have instruments and drum rolls, and there's actually quite a bit of ritual around it that you'll see happen. And it's all in support of this. So don't get lost in it. Don't worry if you don't understand it. Frankly, I don't understand all of it. I have to review it to do it as a drupcha, because I do this practice, but I don't do the whole thing that we're going to do. But it's really nice to do it as a group. And Lori, who's coming, has made it her life's goal to know how to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. And so she's going to help us. So we'll have the form. But let's not get lost in the form. What you said is very important. We're here to feel the heart of Tara, which is our own heart, and find out more about who we really are at that level. It's really true. It's really important. So in that way, it's a very human kind of practice. It's a very, it inspires a little bit of intimate conversation, because it's very intimate to start going in at that level and feeling in at that level what your capacity for tenderness and love and healing is. We're not asked to do that very often in life. We're asked to show up and comb our hair and dress acceptably, more or less, and do our jobs, but we're not asked to really look into our being. So all of these practices actually, and certainly the Tara practice, is a way of looking into our being. And just enjoying it at that level is very profound. And there's always more when you feel ready as a practitioner to, learn more about this. That's certainly available. Anything else? Where's the book? Book of Names? Oh, thanks. So tomorrow we'll sing it through. I'd like us to sing. We're ready to close now and don't want to keep us long, but just as a good omen, let's just sing the Refuge and Bodhicitta verse, and then we'll do our dedication. Thank you so much.
The one from the Green Tara?
Yes, the one from the Green Tara.
Next page.
It's page, should be one. Page one. First page. It says Namo. Namo is homage. It's like I bow down, except you're not physically bowing down. So you can see that all of this opening to intimate connection with Tara and feeling like she is our refuge and we really want to connect with her is why it makes sense at the beginning of this kind of practice that we actually bow down. So that's why I was saying that today it was really, since we're doing this kind of practice, it's kind of all part of it. It's part of being present in that way of, joyous respect. Okay, so let's just sing this verse and then we'll do our usual dedications. Namo, to be free from fear and suffering, sublime Tara, refuge, heart I trust, wishful active bodhicittas raise, and vow to protect every being. Namo, jiktang dung el dugaladral cheer, Pamadroma job chining boarding, Mundang chukbe janjub senje day, Ichin drogan dubartam jo. Namo, to be free from fear and suffering, sublime Tara, refuge, heart I trust, wishful active bodhicittas raise, and vow to protect every being. Za, bam, ho. She dissolves into us. Everything vanishes. And then we arise as Tara. And then we go on. It's a lot about trust. Sometimes when I do a retreat on Green Tara, we spend a lot of time on the whole business of trust, which is not a simple thing either. So there are many, many very rich veins here over time to connect with, especially after you've developed your daily practice and some of the other practices. So now we're back to our page 12. page 22. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. 25. In a pure land ringed by snow mountains, source of bliss and benefit for all, powerful dens in Jato Chenrezi, lotus feet, please stay hundreds of years. Fill vast space with your activities. Om Swasti, flawless refuge sources, give blessings. Teacher, protector, kind Dharma Lord. Jurme Tupten Jatso, wondrous good. Lotus feet ever, deeds everywhere. Namo Guru. Glorious, wise K, bright sun and kind song, now that your work here has subsided, please think of our pain, sad suffering. We pray you quickly take form again.
Prayer for Ann and Harvey, page 29.
Om Swasti. And Harvey, like the waxing moon, may your life and merit flourish, grow through the threefold skillful pundit's deeds. Live long, benefiting all you meet. By the true power of two Vajra truths, 3 jewels, 3 roots, Buddha's compassion, faithful Sangha and aspiration, may this prayer be realized at once. And the prayer for Dawn Mountain on page 32. May there be a great fine new temple, a great seat for all high practice learning, which having spread in all directions, male and female yogis everywhere, practice and further the teachings there. And we pray that our practice and merit be of benefit to all living beings throughout space, and especially tonight to Emily Mercado, Franz Mercado, Carolina, Grandmom, Wendy, Sam, Gloria, Anna, Kiki, Ophelius, Heinze, Fernando, Teresita, Marta, David Garcia in the Bardo, Andres and family, Pam Jordan, Philip, Jonas, parents, Jen, Mom, Nena, Bob, Tibet, Forrest, Haley Mosier for a job, Tina Borja, Rosa Glenn, Riley and family, Adolfo, Winston, Doug, Rudman family, Millie Schneider, David Merritt, Buddy Henderson, Sharon Jackson, Jerry Edgerton, John Hyde, Megan Hyde, Jade Lavenka, Nam Vo, Diana Marks, Yang Huang, Susan Nordemeyer, Mikhail Friedman, people of Tibet, especially those who have self-immolated, people of Syria, victims and soldiers, Whitney Houston, David's mother, Ann G. for a job, Claire V. for a job, Dan Drollinger in Bardo, Robert Terry Stein's mother, Werner Kelber, Dan Kozort, Sharon Jackson, Buddy Henderson, David W., Andreas Reinhardt, victims of the high school shooting in Ohio, Sharon Smallwood, Jonathan Grossman, Perry's mom, Sherry Grossman, Brian Grossman, George Grossman, Ding Shi, Maria Newman, Lauren Thompson, Lulu Grossman, Franklin, Kat, Bobby, Mani Joshi, Jadelyn Hlavenka in Bardo, Mike, Gail, Adam. And our recitation after dedication. Things sound on page 30. Things, sounds, minds are God mantras, true form, pious and wisdom in endless play. Through this profound and secret practice, Be one with the one taste heartily, and an orb of light at your heart, and with the sound and light emanating from your heart, sending that out to everybody in the room, in Houston, and in the world. Share our practice. Thank you, everybody. Om Tani Tam Soha. See you tomorrow.